Ich sitze hier mit Bring Me the Horizon beziehungsweise mit Teilen der Simpsons hier in Berlin. Ich dachte, ich würde Bring Me the Horizon treffen, aber die Jungs haben mich korrigiert. Hello guys, because I don't have any idea who of the Simpsons you are. Could you shortly tell me, please?
Marge Simpson.
You are Marge Simpson.
I'm Marge Simpson, yeah.
It's so cool to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I've dreamt, for 20 years, I think, to meet you.
I look different in person to the TV.
True,
So
your hair is kind of
down
different.
A bit, yeah, normally it's up and blue, but I dyed it, so yeah.
You're not her husband, I guess.
No, I'm Bort Schwimpston. That's like the German version. But I look remarkably like him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would have figured it out.
Yeah.
That's true. So what happened to Bring Me the Horizon? Because actually I should have met them.
I don't know. They couldn't make it. They got stuck on their flight, so we're here instead. Yeah, next best thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how familiar the Simpsons are with the music of Bring Me the Horizon, but I just got to listen to the new record, and of course fans want to know what it's about. But maybe we start with when will it be released, which is also still news.
It's coming out on September the 11th.
So. A remarkable day.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward, but it just happened to be that date. We didn't have many options really, and we thought, why not? It's just a day at the end of the day, isn't it? And it was a long time ago, so yeah, I guess some people are a bit like, but yeah, it just happened to fall on that date, and we figured not change it. There's no reason not to, you know what I mean? So why not?
Bart, sorry. Okay. So should we stay with Bart, or what's your favorite name?
Lee. That's better. Yeah.
Okay, so we take Lee. back to Bring the Horizon. Can you say the title of it?
It's called That's the Spirit.
Is that one of the titles also on the record?
No, it's a lyric on the record, but it's not. It's just the title of the album.
You've recorded your earlier records in different places, so how did this one come into being?
We started writing it in January, just after we played Wembley Arena.
So your huge concert.
Yeah, it was our biggest, probably, yeah. So we did that sort of like in December. We had a few weeks off, and then we pretty much started straight away. Yeah, we wrote at Ollie's house in Sheffield for a couple of months, and then we went to Santorini, a Greek island, to record it. Yeah. So
you're supporters of Greece?
Yeah, we like Greece. Yeah. We like Googled nicest studios in the world to record at and found that one, and we're like, let's go somewhere nice. And it's probably the best thing we could have chose, because it was fun to record and like laid back and stuff, so it was good.
I mean, I've heard of a lot of studios, but not of a Greek one. What's so special about it?
The view is very good. It's quite a spectacular view. It was just a nice scenic place to be, and it was quite relaxed, which is what we wanted, really. Mm-hmm. And because we self-produced the album, so we kind of wanted to go somewhere away from everyone and everything, and do it ourselves. So it had a nice pool. I guess that was an advantage as well. So even though we didn't get to use it that much, it was still cool. When you do want to relax, it's nice to be like in a hot, nice place. So.
Okay, now I get it. Writing an album or a record, recording a record is a good excuse to have a great long vacation?
Yeah, as well. It's just like when you're stressed and stuff and you go outside, it's a lot better to be somewhere nice rather than being in an industrial estate and feeling a bit depressed. So we thought be somewhere where we can like, it will feel good and stuff, so it was good.
Also, we wrote it over winter, so like January, February, March we were writing in Sheffield, and it's pretty cold and pretty miserable, so it was kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel for us. We just knew we had that to look forward to, so I think it was kind of a good motivation for us to keep writing. Mm-hmm. And then when we got out there, it was a lot of the hard work had been done, so we could just enjoy it. It was really good.
I don't remember exactly the day or the time when I first played a song of your band in my show, but it's quite a few years ago. And I think back then, not so many listeners knew you. Now they're pretty familiar with you. When did your parents realize, okay, this is not just a dude playing some metal music for fun, but this is like a job?
I think when they came to see us playing, they saw like the crowd singing along and stuff, and everyone like knew the songs. And then my parents came one time, and somebody asked for a picture with them. So I think they were like, "Oh, this is a bit weird." Like, people like this band, so I think they realised as soon as they saw like the crowds were getting into it and stuff. Yeah.
And are they into the music?
Yeah, they love it. All his parents are like super positive and behind us and always come to shows and stuff, so it's good that they all love what we're doing.
Well, that's not normal, I would say, is it?
I don't know. I think probably most people's parents who are in bands are probably quite happy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But yeah, for us, they're like, if anything, they're too keen. Yeah, I think my parents need to be like calmed down a bit sometimes. They get too excited. Yeah. So.
Super duper fans.
Yeah, super fans. Yeah, they get a bit too pumped up in the mosh pit. My mum has to calm down. If she hurts someone, she'll hurt herself. She's not too careful.
Are you kidding or true?
My mum gets in the pit, honestly.
Wow, that's a
She
cool
has
mum.
I'm not even joking. She has been at a Reading a festival. She's been down there. I don't know if she moshes. I've not seen. Probably.
Wow. Okay, I'm impressed now. When a new record comes into being, I think there's one point where you realize, okay, this is the first song that we're going to put on a record, and then there's another time where you say, okay, and now I think we're done with the record itself. Do you remember these times?
What, when we like figured out which songs were singles and stuff?
Well, not just singles, but if you've recorded, let's say, I don't know, 12 or maybe 14 or 16 songs, and then you say, okay, and now this is it, now we're done.
Oh, when we were writing, we kind of had like a goal, didn't we, of how many we wanted to write. Like, we knew we wanted 10, pretty much 10 really good songs, no like filler and stuff. So we kind of stuck to that, and then we had Drown, which we weren't going to put on there, but I'll let John can say something about it.
Yeah, we decided to put that one on in the end. I don't know why, but there's an interview with me saying, oh, it's definitely not going on. But then, obviously, we changed our mind. I don't know.
So now it's 11 songs.
It's 11 songs, yeah. And with the rest of them, I think we kind of knew... we had the first one quite early on, what we wanted to be the opener. And it just made sense as an opener. And then I think we had an idea of which one we wanted to be last. So you kind of start to get like the beginning one and the last one. And then we had Happy Song we thought would be a good second track. Mm-hmm. And then, so yeah, you start to get certain ones where you feel like, oh, that should be like about fifth, and it just kind of takes shape once you've got the songs. Yeah, in terms of the order and stuff, it just starts to make sense, I guess. Who's
the choir and who's like counting on Happy Song?
Oh, it's Ollie owns a clothing company, and we went down there, and Jordan like recorded all the girls there doing like singing along to the track. But originally it was like a cheerleader that Ollie found, and he like cut it up and stuff. So then we like got it done properly. Like, yeah.
There's a few like fans of the band as well. Yeah. People who've been. There was a few people who had sang on the last record who like I asked them to come back and sing on it again. So yeah, it was a mixture of friends and family, drop dead like Lee said, and then a couple of fans who've been on both CDs, which is quite cool. The last two.
Oh yeah.
Cool
so
for them.
So some part of the band already.
Kind of, yeah. I guess an extended part.
I, for myself, must say I still listen a lot to albums, but, if I see younger ones, they are pretty much into tracks. How important is it nowadays, with Spotify and with Apple Music to say, okay, we have an album?
It's really important. I feel like you can't get everything across in one track, like what we're trying to do. And so I feel like if you listen to the album, you get like a full idea of like where the band's going and stuff. Like if you just heard Happy Song, you'd have no idea that the last track on the CD is going to sound the way it does and stuff. So I think albums are important to me. Like I like bands more for albums a lot of the time nowadays than a single and stuff. But in my opinion, I think albums matter more than a single track.
So what are you on it?
It's difficult as well because with us, every time we put a song out, people really analyse it quite a lot and say, oh, is this a new direction? Or so you kind of like, for example, when we released Shadow Moses off the last album, everyone said, oh, this is what it's going to sound like. But then the album's quite different. That kind of song's different to the rest of it. So it's very hard to get across what 10 or 11 tracks is going to sound like from one song. So you can't really win either way, you know what I mean? Some people are going to be happy and some people aren't. So I guess we just went with the one that seemed like it made the most sense to be first. Mm-hmm. For people to hear at least first.
And who decides which is the single or the second or the third? You? Or is it the label then?
No, it's those guys who pretty much direct it. Yeah.
I think if they disagreed massively, then maybe we'd have an issue. But I mean, it's pretty much you can pretty much tell. You know what I mean?
Everyone kind of agrees.
Sorry?
Everyone kind of agrees. Like even the label, when they heard the album and stuff, they agreed totally with like what we'd suggested and stuff. So.
I remember back in the days it was like that I didn't play any singles because I got the albums and I didn't think of singles. Now, of course, I know, this is a single which is going to be released. But I must say, earlier it was, most of them were pretty hard. And then, especially with the last record, I remember once saying, okay, folks, if you're really disappointed with Linkin Park, that they're getting softer and softer, there is a band you should definitely listen to because this makes sense. This is kind of a sound. Does it go on your nerves if people compare you with Linkin Park or some parts of Linkin Park, or is that fine with you?
No, it don't bother me because Linkin Park are a good band, I think, and stuff. And I feel like sometimes it's people compare you to the closest thing they can think. They feel like they have to compare you. Whereas
it makes it easier,
yeah.
If I tell someone about a band.
Yeah, because I feel like we don't sound like them, but I can see what people hear that they think sounds the same and stuff. So it's not a bad comparison. There's a lot worse it could be compared to.
I think Linkin Park are an influence for us anyway, so that's not a problem. I mean, it's not a problem really for us, especially the way they mix the electronic stuff with the more band rock elements. I mean, you're always going to sound a little bit like Linkin Park if you are going to fuse those two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I can kind of see why people might think we sound a little bit like Linkin Park, but I can take that. I think there was bands around the time when Linkin Park first came out that I thought they sounded like, but it's just everyone sounds a bit like someone. But I think for the most part, the album doesn't really sound anything like Linkin Park, so obviously people are going to draw comparisons to various different bands, but I've heard all kinds of mad stuff, especially with Happy Song. I've heard someone say it sounds like grunge. People say it sounds like 90s metal, new metal. It just depends which way you hear it, I guess, you know what I mean?
I know one person saying kind of like Korn, the guitar.
Korn?
Uh-huh.
Haven't heard that one, but yeah, that's a new one for me. I'll take it, whatever.
Well, it's not critics, or when and then it's a positive one.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's either you like it or you don't you? I mean, whether it sounds like Korn or...
I mean, I've known that you've been with a lot of bands on tour together, like two or three bands at the evening. Have you met Linkin Park, or have you played with them?
Yeah, we met them. We met Chester at a photo shoot once that Ollie and him did, and then we met Mike and stuff, and it turns out that they like our band and stuff, and they're really nice and came and hung out backstage and stuff and talked to us, so it was cool to meet them, because that's a band from when I was 14. I used to love them and stuff, so it's cool to meet your peers, and turns out they like our band and stuff, so it's pretty crazy.
Well, there's one similarity as well. You've done a remix album, they did a remix album, which I think is interesting because it shows the songs quite differently, right?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, you don't?
I suppose so. Theirs is a classic. The one with Jay-Z on it?
Yeah.
It is a classic, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, not just a Jay-Z one, they're a different one.
Oh, they did another one as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
They've done quite a few.
I'm not that up on Linkin Park.
Okay.
I mean, I know the classics, you know what I mean? Meteora and Hybrid Theory. But other than that, I'm not that... I don't know all their back catalogue. But I like the Jay-Z one.
Yeah, that's a good one, true. So, what does a good song mean to you?
Good song?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's a hard question, isn't it? Just if it's enjoyable, or if it's emotive. I always find I like songs if they're emotive. Even if it make you feel sad or whatever, as long as it makes you feel in a certain way, I feel like it's a good song if it makes you feel something.
Which is your favorite one on the album?
On the album? I really like the first song, and I really like the last song. And I really like the rest of them, but them two I think are cool, really cool songs.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I like the first track as well. In fact, I like them all. I like Happy Song just because it's fun and different. So yeah, but I guess it kind of depends. Wait and see when we play them live, see which ones become my favourites. But yeah, at the moment I still like the whole thing. So see in a year. But right now I like it all. Okay,
when we meet in a year, we can talk about different ones. True.
Yeah. In a year, I'll probably tell you, oh, it's all shit.
Yeah. Oh, what a rubbish album.
Yeah, a load of rubbish.
Let's talk about a happy song, because of course that's the first one I'm going to play next week or on Tuesday. What is it about? What is the happy song?
Well, it's Ollie writes the lyrics, so it's more like what he's feeling in it. But I don't. It's weird to explain someone else's lyrics. Can you explain it in a good way?
I guess it's kind of it sums up what we wanted to get across with the whole album, which is the kind of basically dealing with being a bit depressed, which everyone is to some extent. Maybe not depressed, but everyone has a great big void inside them, which is what is in the lyrics. So yeah, it's basically I think it's Ollie's way of dealing with that empty feeling that you have as a human being, and that's what the song's about. He's saying, oh well, everyone has that feeling, like it's like that horrible feeling. I don't know, does that make sense? Do you ever get that thing where you feel a bit like
Lost? Yeah.
Well, just human beings in general. It's a meaningless life is meaningless, isn't it, really? And if you accept it, then it's just, you can kind of enjoy it.
But if we put it down to music, we were just at 2 festivals in the last few weeks. First one was Roskilde Festival in Denmark. Now it was Melt Festival, which is a kind of electronic meets indie and stuff kind of festival. And what we realized was that so many of the younger people are not just into music, it's about entertaining. They want to get entertained. It's like, you want to have your selfie, you want to have your girls and boys around, you want some glitter and stuff in the air and having a good time. And sometimes I wonder, is that, why they are lost, or is that, I don't get it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be entertained. I think it's just, I think music for kids especially is like a cathartic release, you know what I mean? So if you're feeling upset or sad or depressed about something, a lot of kids just use music and festivals and live shows as a way to just forget about whatever they're stressed about. So
I feel like music to a lot of them is like a lifeline. Like, a lot of kids can be bullied or whatever, but music gets them. That's their thing. Do you know what I mean? Is music. So I feel like it's a positive thing in a lot of ways. Is music is quite a huge thing to think it is just, we're just a band. Do you know what I mean? And music is just people making music, but it's such a huge thing in life. Like, it can be, your whole life can be music, which is pretty crazy. But I think it's good for kids to have like a positive avenue to go down, even if it's music. If they want to just go to gigs all the time, it's probably, a lot of kids is what they'll like base their year on, is looking forward to going and seeing bands and stuff. So I think it's like a good thing.
Another thing I think we've noticed with this album is we started like teasing this umbrella image and stuff like that when we before we announced the album, and you really noticed like a lot of our fans would communicate with each other and almost like make friends over trying to figure out what was going on. That's a really cool thing that I think music can do, without meaning to get too deep, is like it can bring kids together in a weird way, especially kids around that age that a lot of our fans can often struggle with, be a bit socially awkward or maybe not be so good at making friends or stuff like that. So I think that's another positive that can come from it.
Totally. I mean, I'm totally pro music, and I DJ a lot in clubs, and I think that's the greatest thing, that people come together and we dance and sing along to music, because that's right. That's where you forget your normal life. Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of like what with Happy Song, especially. That's what that was trying to convey. Is we're all fucked and life is miserable, but if you sing along, then it's all right, you know what I mean? That's kind of, music can be your make the best of it, and it's not so bad if you just embrace it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. ABBA once said thank you for the music, so I say thank you for the music, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Enjoy your time. I mean, tour will come, right?
Yeah. November. Oh, is it November? I thought that was UK. Yeah, November. We're in Europe, yeah.
In Germany as well, right?
We'll be here, yeah.
Good. So see you. Thanks.
Das Ding. Radio, Fernsehen, Internet.